chef pal Adam Pawlak is with us. We are going to live the high life, courtesy of Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. Good afternoon, Adam.
Hello, boys. How we doing?
Oh, hang on, Hunter. Other mic, Hunter.
Hunter.
There we go.
There we go.
Hunter, push that button. You can't push our own. How's it going?
It's going good. I should have just cracked some High Lifes right now, but I don't want to make you guys jealous because you can't drink while you're working.
Yeah,
Yes,
not
we
as far as
can.
people know. Yeah, we're on StreamYard right now. We're streaming, so we can't. Well, I suppose we
We
could.
could put them in water bottles and then just like let it rip.
There's no time of day that's not perfect for High Life, I think. But that's just me. Since 1903, the champagne of beers. And right now, hit us up, NicoletLaw.com, talking text line 877-794-1973. Who is living the high life? I would start with, I don't know, Ichiro Suzuki.
That's what I was going to
CC
say.
Sabathia and Billy Wagner.
Yep.
Definitely living the high life after getting into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we have to talk some sports. Remember,
we got
yelled
you.
at before.
Exactly.
All right. Settle this dispute for us, Adam.
Right out of the gate. Here
Because
we go.
we've got somebody who is dying on this hill that CC Sabathia is more deserving to have his number retired with the Brewers than Hank Aaron.
No. I don't know much about baseball either. I'll be open about that, and I still know that.
You still know that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why don't we just get them both
You
done?
know,
Sabathia pitched whopping 17 games for the Brewers.
yeah. By the way,
Okay, yeah. Okay, so they're
Adam,
just jumping on that.
you have a connection to this because you're friends with the Yelich family, and Kristen Yelich played with Ichiro in Miami. For a
Yeah,
long
in
time.
my I saw that.
Now, who's living the high life? I got one for you. Remember a guy, Adam, you wouldn't, you got to be a baseball nerd. Hunter will remember him. KB may or may not. There was a first baseman for the Royals named Mike Sweeney. He was the captain of the Royals when they were running with Locane and those guys. Mike Sweeney was their kind of a go-to guy. He's a really gregarious guy. Sean Casey, when he played first base, he was called the mayor because he talked to everybody. He was always getting along with everybody. Sean Casey played with the Pirates and the Reds and stuff. Well, Mike Sweeney was like the American League Sean Casey. And he was quoted that somebody asked him about Ichiro, and he said, quote, "He leads off a game with a line drive to left center field for a base hit, and he gets over to first base. And all I could think about was when I was in Japan playing against the Japanese All-Stars, anytime that an American would get a base hit, up on the Jumbotron, there'd be this big, huge graphic, almost kind of like a 50s, 60s graphic from Batman and Robin, like pow or boom. And it would say, nice batting. And so over the loudspeaker, you hear the PA announcer say, nice batting, and you'd see these big graphics up on the Jumbotron. So being a kid from Southern California that doesn't speak any Japanese, I don't know what to say to Ichiro. I don't even know if he knows English. He just gotten here in spring training. So I look over at him, I pat him on the back, and I say, Ichiro, nice batting. And I don't know what kind of response I'm going to get. And he looks at me, and I've never met him before, and he goes, Mike Sweeney, nice ass. I started dying laughing, like, oh my gosh, his English is perfect, no accent. I'm going, oh my gosh, this guy's going to be great.
What a start.
Ichiro, nice ass.
I love it.
That is a great story. Who's living the high life? Hit us up on the talking text line. Adam, we're going to rope you into our discussion the other day about Caesar salads. KB didn't like the fact that a place we go that we like had anchovies,
They put anchovies
in the dressing.
In the dressing. And
Okay.
they don't put anchovy in the salad, so I got the Caesar salad.
Okay.
And then I took my first bite of the salad, and I'll be damned if they didn't put anchovy in the dressing.
The salty umami that they put in. Now,
Okay, so
we dove into the history of it. The
Gross.
original Caesar salad did not have anchovy, but over the years, it's evolved to where now I think
Sure.
more often than not, a Caesar salad includes anchovy paste of some kind
Oh, thank
somewhere.
yeah, or chopped up. I mean,
No.
if you want to, this is a good I wouldn't say like replacement. You don't have to take this to heart, but you could change that out for like capers. So like have capers in the oil, chop them up really, really small as if they were anchovies, throw those in there.
Or not have
Or
Is that the
just
same
leave 'em
umami,
out.
like salty profile that you get? Is that the same?
Yeah,
kind
salty,
of
a
kick?
little briny,
Yeah.
It's not so seafoody. The thing that I don't like, it's all about balance, right? So if I could make you a Caesar dressing, KB, that has anchovies in it that you wouldn't know has it, but
And I'm fine with it.
but if it wasn't in there, you wouldn't like it as much. Surprisingly, I guarantee it, because you wouldn't know, but it's about balance.
This place,
I can't do Caesar salads when they put an anchovy on top to like
they
garnish.
did that, but I'm saying this place, as soon as I had a bite of the dressing, it was fish.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Non-balanced.
Okay, another hot take.
Okay.
Fish should never be on a salad.
So much for the salmon salad or
Yes.
the shrimp salad?
Yes.
That's just pleasing the masses.
Yes, come on.
Come on.
No, should
All
not.
right. Is
Keep
smelt,
sea and land separate.
Adam, is
Okay.
smelt a food or is it bait, as someone said? It's not food, it's a bait.
Oh, it's definitely food. That is a huge thing. You take that and you fry it up. Get some battered and
I
fried,
think you
know?
beer batter something and pan fry it, and it's a shoe leather is food to me if it's breaded right.
I mean, if someone's worried about that, they don't know about all the other hundreds of things that get
tempura
consumed
jerky
by anyone in this world. They need to be a little bit more open-minded, I think.
Tempura jerky. I love that. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So Adam is a chef to the stars and a proprietor of Egg and Flour in Bayview, a wonderful pasta restaurant in the fast casual mode. You don't need a reservation to go to Egg and Flour.
Absolutely not.
You roll in and
we're
you go
against
up and
reservations.
Order it. You walk up, order it, sit down, and then you get your delicious, fresh made pasta. I did see the special today. It's a brat mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's kind of ode to euchre. That was what my brother said.
That's amazing.
It was just over the top, back to more of our roots of what like made us busy and made us popular. It's just like we're running it all night, so I can talk about it. I don't feel bad, but Shell's pasta that we make in-house, Miller High Life cheese sauce, a bunch of chopped up brats, and then caramelized onions. And then my brother made a mustard aioli. So just like mayo, mustard, a little bit of lemon juice, stuff like that. Thin it out a little bit with chives. And then the classic hard pretzels crumbled up on top.
That sounds amazing.
Not too bad.
Stick to the ribs food, pasta on a cold night. That is a great idea. So anyway, so if you have any cooking questions or on Hot Take Hump Day to ask Adam, who also, in addition to being on a number of TV shows that you can see in rotation and things like that, has his own signature shoe from Nunn Bush.
That's right as well.
AP1.
The AP1s. I wish I was wearing them on those TV shows. I just was watching Food Network randomly, and along with like 17 other people text me saying, "You're on TV right now." It was the Beat Bobby Flay rerun. So it was kind of funny to just being in the rotation on normal TV. So it's not like it's showing once, but
when you're on TV, can you watch yourself? Because I can't watch anything I do. I've been doing a weekly TV show for many years, and I just don't. I don't watch it.
I don't think I could watch myself if I do what you do, where you're just in the camera, talking about things. But the fact that I'm like doing stuff and working and like moving around, where it's not just like face frontal profile there talking, it's kind of fun, and I kind of like find new things each time I see an episode or rewatch it. I haven't watched Hell's Kitchen in a really long time, and that one gets weird because it's so long ago. Like I was a lot younger. This is almost 5-6 years ago, where that's a little bit funny to watch, but I'm still proud of what I did on that show, and I always love watching it. I think it's kind of funny, but I like to go in stages, like wait a year or so, and then maybe rewatch my season. It's kind of fun.
Well, we're watching this season, Sue and I are, and it's
a god awful.
It's horrible. Head chefs only, and I'm so like, bad. Where?
It's almost
who hired you?
It's like they already dig themselves a grave when they come out with that and say that that's what it's going to be, because then everyone's expectations are like super high. And no offense to the HK family and what they're doing, but they should just do, Hell's Kitchen, get it back to the original roots of how it was. Let Gordon go off. Stop being nice to everyone.
Well, you know what?
Years, he's way more nicer. Just go back to going crazy because it's for entertainment. The
only reason I'm watching it, is
because you're hooked.
Because we're kind of hooked. But Foxwoods Casino is where his new one is opening. Yeah, and I have. That's the first time in my life I ever had hanging bacon.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, with the clips and everything.
The clips on the clothesline and they had a really good restaurant out there that. So I started watching it because of that. But here's a hot take. Hell's Kitchen as a restaurant is going to be overrated if he keeps opening more of them.
He's past that point.
Well, I know. But I mean,
is this your hot take, KB? You're taking this to heart? Oh,
yeah. Well, because then all of a sudden you're going to have a Hell's Kitchen everywhere. It's going to become a Hard Rock.
That's pretty much their plan, obviously, because the brand is so strong. I think they'll be completely, mirrored. They will be the same quality, all that kind of stuff, service. If people don't know, other than the fine dining restaurants, he has a vast majority of other restaurants that he's done multiple locations of, whether it's Lucky Cat or Burger or Gordon Ramsay Pub and Grill. So I don't think he has problems with, multiplying restaurants and making more of them. I think what happens is people go in there with the expectations of so high that they're let down. They write bad reviews or they complain or whatever. But, he's obviously doing something right. One of the greatest to ever do it. And if you want a real representation of Gordon Ramsay and what he does in his food, you need to go to the UK. No matter where you go, even Gordon Ramsay's Steak in Paris Hotel in Vegas, which is like his big one, the steakhouse where everything's the best. You got to go to UK and you just have to eat at Gordon Ramsay restaurant. And then tell me if that chef is overrated or if he's just a TV chef, because that's where it's at.
What's the one that we ate at last time we were out in Vegas? Was it Cut?
Yeah, I think it was.
Wolfgang?
Yeah, it was Cut. That was pretty good.
Yep. I will recommend, I did go to Tom Colicchio's restaurant with Visit Milwaukee this year, and that was actually very incredible. That's called Craft.
So if you were going to take a look at the chefs that have become celebrity chefs in the common vernacular, that everybody knows.
Oh, I have something tied to this. This is
you know chefs because you're in the chef world.
Of course.
But the celebrity chefs.
There's not that many as you'd think.
No, there's not. But who is the GOAT of chefs that everybody knows?
It's just Gordon Ramsay.
It's not Wolfgang.
I would say Wolfgang maybe 10 years ago, not as out there as much. Like maybe, you guys got me by a little bit, but you probably remember when Wolfgang Puck was coming through the TV circuit. It's just huge, and Gordon Ramsay is younger. Spago.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I would say Gordon Ramsay, when I was just in the Dominican Republic and they found out that I cooked with him, it's like everywhere in the world there's no negotiation. They know who he is. So that's what
he's
makes
that
him
kind of
different.
guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's living the high life. As are many others. All right. Who's living the high life this week?
And who's drinking a high life right
KB's, now? Well, yeah, hit us up if you're drinking a high life. But KB's favorite Just for Men spokesman, Ryan Day, national champion,
he's living
Ohio
the
State.
high life.
And all fans of the Ohio State University are living the high life these days. So are your friends locally who were nominated for James Beard Awards. That is like the Heisman Trophy of chef world. Is it not? Or the Academy Award? It's the highest honor in the U.S. for chefs. Is it not?
Exactly. Yeah. I would say right underneath Michelin, which is just in a different world of its own. If you guys know about that, but yeah, James Beard is great. That is the top.
Who is James Beard, and how do you get so loved?
I don't know the whole story, but out of Chicago, they have the James Beard House and James Beard Cooking, and doing fundraising and making it more about ethical ways in the workplace and making things better and having this foundation to help things. And definitely worth researching and looking about how you can be involved with the James Beard Foundation and how to get chefs that you love nominated for that. And that's definitely on my bucket list at some point in my life. I feel like I'm still very young.
You are younger than us.
It's Gregory Leone from Amalindo's one.
Yep.
Your buddy Kyle from Birch. Dan from Esterev, right?
Ross from Duck. Ryan from the agency, the bar, and Bryant's, I believe.
Yeah.
Got in there as well.
They're in there as well. And that's pretty good.
It's a great, we always
come in just to be nominated is good,
yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. It's amazing. It's like just getting on that list and to having so many people have eyes on us that aren't from here, it's cool for all of us to be like, yeah, we're rooting for the whole team, but everyone looks at those lists from all over the world to all over the country. So it's cool to see that. And that's why I say those restaurants should be packed every night.
Agreed. And even when it's cold out, do you see a dip in business when it's below zero, or does that help you that people want that comfort food that you serve?
I think it can go either way. Bayview is really good with supporting. I think they come out, but we can always use more, more support always. So come down, and we're changing some things on the menu coming up. So that's exciting. But yeah, when it's really cold, obviously we do well. It helps out. I think it's better if it's really cold without snow. I think some people are a little bit more cautious when it's snowing than just the straight up being cold, but we'll make sure that you're warmed up when you come to Egg and Flour and it's cold outside.
There you go. Zach in Oak Creek on the NicoletLaw.com talking text.
Here we go.
877-794-1973. Went to Egg and Flour last week. Rigatoni was amazing.
That's what I like to see.
Hot take hump day right
That's
there.
One of our most popular.
It is? What's number one? Not the Adam special?
It may be the Adam, which is just like the one that I eat. It's actually named that. But the rigatoni is rigatoni pasta, tomato cream sauce, 4-ounce giant mozzarella burrata ball, and a bunch of parm on top. Can't go wrong. It's kind of that hot and cold contrast. mix it in.
What's the most overrated condiment?
Just in general.
Yeah, the reason.
Okay, B. Coming out hot.
Well,
No,
it
the
depends
reason.
on
No,
who you
the
are.
reason I'm asking you that is you said this aioli and garlic aioli, and I'm always like, it's mayo with garlic.
Yeah. So
stuff
so
like
people
that.
know like
It's like, so
aioli
there's a
is
lot
just
of
mayo
things.
with garlic.
Right. So there's a lot of stuff where they come up with these fancy names for something.
You
Oh,
mean
man.
you mean like the sun-dried tomato reduction that's just ketchup?
Exactly. Stuff like that. Yeah. So what are your most overrated and underrated condiments?
We actually
man.
we did
That
get a
is
question.
tough.
We got that
Yeah.
on the talking text line. Someone
Let's
was
go.
saying that
Send
their
them
hot
in.
take was that steak sauce is overrated.
That's
I don't know if it's
that's-
overrated, but it's unnecessary to me.
That's what I said. It shouldn't exist.
You want to put peanut butter on your steak? Go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know if the steak sauce thing is like. I feel like it's
For
just
bad
covering
steak.
up a bad steak. Yeah, exactly. Like steak sauce on maybe a burger or something. The thing with me is like, I don't care. But if I'm having a restaurant like a Texas Roadhouse or something, you have to have it on the table. It's going to get asked, multiple times a day. But if you're against it or you don't want people putting steak sauce on your steaks, don't offer it.
Well, that's an easy way to circumvent. And then make people
I don't
bring
use
their
it.
own.
And I'll say I don't use it. I'll get in on that train. It's like, I don't use it. I don't think
No,
so.
a properly cooked steak doesn't really need a lot of accoutrements.
Yeah. And if you need a condiment for steak, it's
Now,
a lot
what
of
about
butter or chimichurri.
And
I saw.
And you should never put olive oil
I mean,
to rub it on the steak.
you don't have to.
No, you should. No, I saw that.
You need it dry.
Bobby Flay said that he's never put olive oil on the steak. That's for salads.
All
Well,
right. Tim wants to know on the talking text line, could you ask Adam, how did 2020 change the industry? I guess he's referring
How
to
much
COVID shutdown.
Yeah, we're on the radio. We don't have that much time.
we could do a whole week, right?
Yeah, we could just talk for hours and hours, but drastically, in good ways and bad ways, you'd be surprised at like workloads on cooks and chefs, restaurants closing down more often and more frequently, like days of the week, so that people can have a little bit normalcy of a life. But prices went up. The way people dine, restaurants are closing earlier in the night, which I kind of miss. I love those 10 o'clock, 11 midnight restaurants that are nice restaurants that stay open late, but that's kind of out the window unless you're in a big city. And just the way things are approached, I think pricing is obviously a lot different in the way that people are cooking and the way that people are serving food, but pros and cons to everything. But
Is it that just kind of
horrible.
exacerbated the trend of these people, Hunter's age, these kids, I tell you, that they don't go out. There's a lot more takeout. And that's probably a
DoorDash
function
and all
of
that Uber Eats and stuff.
that's partially inflated by COVID, but the trend of people staying home and all these stats about people under 30 who don't go out with their
420.
friends and stuff, that don't hang out. 420, everything stops on the Drew and KB
Oh,
program.
Funny that
here
we're
we
talking
go.
about
420.
food.
And we're talking
Talk about
about
DoorDash food. People that don't want to leave the house, they're clearly celebrating 420.
A lot of
Indeed.
times they are. This little detour of ours brought to us by happyplacehemp.com. Check out Rob and Chris, great guys making great products out of Muskego, and you can get them at a 25% discount with the code Drew and KB.
That's
Highly
pretty good.
recommend if you're doing a dry January, as many do, get yourself some gummies or a drift seltzer.
Dry mouth.
Try that.
Dry mouth
Dry mouth,
January.
dry
after
mouth
going
January.
there.
Can't wash it down. Can't get rid of that.
Yeah, get the drift seltzer and then
Mountain Dew or
report
sign.
back to us. And hey, if you it's economical because if you sample their products, you might spend less on
And
Instead of
25% off.
another
That's
alcohol.
huge.
They
It's
shouldn't
big.
call it. They shouldn't call it drift seltzer. They should call it just lay there.
Well, you're drifting on the couch.
Non-moving seltzer.
KB, what's our story? Make it quick. Got to get back to conversation with Adam.
Well, you've heard people say if yawns are contagious.
Yep.
Well, there was a study that was done and published in Current Biology by Ina Onishi, who is a wildlife researcher at Kyoto University. And she had started a study. She was studying chimpanzees. And then she noticed they tend to urinate around the same time, which made her wonder if it was a contagious behavior, which was followed by 600 hours of observing 20 chimps, which her and her fellow researchers tracked each time a chimp urinated, how close they were to other chimps within arm's reach, within 3 meters or more than 3 meters away, and whether those other chimps then urinated within 60 seconds. Yes, this was a research study. And then after tracking which was 1,328 urination events, she found that about 10% of those events appeared to be caught from a chimp within its arm's reach, making it slightly contagious.
Oh my God.
Like, we needed to know this. No, you know why?
In the world,
she got
one
curious.
researcher at a time.
Yeah, she got curious because she was running out of money and needed something else to study. So what she found, and then she went farther and said, well, you know, social closeness doesn't have an impact onto whether or not they they urinate at the same time. And they said individuals with lower dominant status would follow the urination patterns of others. So the kid was following the dad. Okay, go to a ballpark. That's all I got to say. I got to told you that. Go to a ballpark.
The kid doesn't have a choice. They're like, hey, I'm going and you're going.
And see how many people are lined up at the urinal and give me your little study.
Want to do that this year at AmFam, KB? You and me can just sit in the bathroom.
There we go. Oh, yeah, that's
all
good.
right. That is 420. What are you high? Brought to us by HappyPlaceHemp.com.
What are you high? Studying urination habit? What are you high?
You're huffing grass.
Yes, indeed. All right, back to the text line for Adam. Well, here's a hot take on Hot Take Hump Day. PJ in Kenosha, Milwaukee cracker style crust pizza is better than any other pizza style, especially Chicago deep dish.
We get into this a lot.
That's
this
an
is
opinion.
Another preference thing.
It's not a hot take. It's an opinion.
It's not a hot take.
Here we
It's
go.
more like when it comes to food, I guess, like it's not really a hot take.
This is what we
It's
need.
opinions.
This is coming from Elliot and Kakana.
Ooh,
How
nice.
do you get a good blackened peppercorn crust on a steak? I would tend to agree. I want to know
this
that.
is great. Yeah. So get peppercorns. You have to break them down or crush them a little bit, or you're gonna like hurt someone's teeth and they shouldn't be digesting that. But spice grinder or break them up nicely with like in a Ziploc bag with the hammer or a rolling pin, whatever you can find, you know. And then what I like to do is I like to add other seasonings with the peppercorn just to kind of break it up a little bit so it's just not so spicy. And then what I do is either do like a light mustard on the steak or something to kind of adhere that. And then you sear it way less than you would a normal steak, flip it over, finish it in the oven.
Sage advice from a professional.
That's the steak au poivre.
Okay, yeah, and can I tell you this though? And I finally convinced my wife to allow me to do this, and I have not missed on a steak yet. And it is, I said it is chef approved because your friend texted you. I have been finishing my steaks in the air fryer.
Oh boy.
He said it was chef approved.
All right. Air fryer, anything.
Well, no, I finish it in there because all it is a convection oven,
Yeah,
and you
it
do it
just
at
heats
400.
that,
Is you're doing the same thing as an
Nice
oven.
crust. I got another
Yeah.
tip for you to even up your steaks even more.
Hmm.
When they come out and they're hot and they're ready to go, before they're resting, squeeze some lemon juice on them.
The citrus. There you
Yep.
go.
The
Where
lemon
do you
juice.
stand on finishing salt?
That's good too, as long as it's not over seasoned. Usually finishing salt for me is steaks over 2.5 inches.
Okay.
Because there's so much, it's hard to get the seasoning on the inside. So, you don't really slice smaller piece of meat. Like if you're serving a fillet to someone, you give them the fillet, you let them cut it themselves. If you have a ribeye though, New York strip
Sliced.
should be sliced, and then you hit the finishing salt of all different kinds.
Can you
Sliced on the bias. That's it.
Against the grain.
Yeah, that's
can you get Chianina steaks in the United States?
What is that?
What is that?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's an Italian cow.
Oh, the style, the heritage of the cow.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a Chianina is the
Italian
name
Kobe.
yeah, it's an
What are you,
yeah.
high?
No, I was just wondering. It's really good. I'm
I'm going to
Someone-
look that up. Yeah.
Someone had
I'll
asked.
send you a picture of
okay.
the one that we had in Florence. It was
Hey,
unreal.
KB's
Amazing.
talking about finishing steaks. Someone asked earlier, do you sous vide if you have time? And I've found I've had great success with sous videing steaks and then finishing them cast iron. And
Sure.
that's the perfect temperature. It's idiot proof.
You got to think about, there's 1,000 ways to the finish line here, and depending on how you want to do it or your technique and style, whatever works best for you and is easier for you. Just remember, you got to, when you sous vide it, once you start crusting it or cooking it again, it can take it a little bit past where you want it to be. So even go a little bit under. Usually if you're sous videing a steak, try to get to 125. And then, if you're looking for medium rare, 130, 128,
130.
Once you start doing it, it's nice and pink. I say filet, more rare, New York strip, medium rare, and ribeyes, medium.
Whoa.
which some people might think is
That's
crazy,
too
but
done.
there's a lot of fat in there. And some people that take medium rare too lightly, where it's like rare plus is a real thing out there. The fat is not cooked down, it's not rendered, and it's not good.
Not as flavorful.
Yeah, exactly. And
then that becomes chewy and gristly. Then
here's a hot take for that lady. If you're actually good at cooking and you can cook a steak well done and it's still good, that's when you know you're a chef.
He's throwing down the gauntlet,
here we
ladies and
go.
gentlemen.
Getting
Adam
angry at
Pawlak
the
is
general
with us.
public's hot
Yes.
takes.
Here we go. Here's another one. What's better, reverse sear or sear first then finish?
Well, it's the same thing. Reverse sear is kind of like, I will never bake a steak. I would sous vide it. That's the only option. Some people talk about baking it, then searing it off. But no, sear it in the pan, butter, herbs, baste it, pop in the oven at 500 degrees for 6 or 7 minutes.
Perfect.
Let it
That's
rip.
the way. All right, Adam, let's hit people with your socials. How can they find you on Instagram?
Yes. So get your phones out, people. I want to see a ton of followers today for Instagram. Adam_PAWLAK23. We're almost to 15,000 followers on Instagram. When we get to that, there's going to be a good giveaway here on my personal Instagram, where if you follow, you can see that. But also here at Drew and KB 97.3, we're going to save a giveaway for that if we get to 15,000.
97.3 The Game. Hit us up. Follow us too. You got anything?
Olsen.
You got some gigs coming? Drew Olsen, MKE on air, KB.
Yes.
Hunter B on air. Do you have? You got some private gigs? In fact, Tony in Oak Creek is going to be at your gig on Saturday. Wants to know what's on the menu.
That's what we're talking about. That's going to be secret, Tony. But you know, I love you, Tony in Oak Creek. That's the fam. Cook for them all the time, and
Indeed.
he's going to have another feast. I can tell you, there's going to be pork chops with mushroom marsala cream sauce, and of course, ribeyes.
You just ruined the surprise.
I know.
Oh,
I had to give him something. He's tuning in.
He's tuning in. We love Tony. That is awesome. And your AP, your shoe reveal party, your shoe release party is coming up. Let's tell people about that.
Next Tuesday at the Milwaukee Public Market. It's open to the public from 5 to 8. It's not 3 hours long. It's just pop in. You don't have to sit there from 5 to 8, but just pop in. There'll be food, drinks, hanging out, get to check out the shoe and see what it's all about. We're actually going to have a lot of news there. Live news will be there and doing some interviews and stuff like that. And it's just very very informal, and get some food downstairs, bring it up and hang out.
We're coming down, and then there's a pretty good chance.
And Drew and KB will be there. So if you want to see a celebrity sighting,
as soon as the show's over, scattered cocktails, some locally heavy, and then we'll have to make a pilgrimage down to see
Tuesday,
Patrick and Maddie down at
I was
the
going to
Tiki
say,
Bar.
and then the unofficial official after party for the shoe launch is going to be me, Drew, and KB's at the bar at Tiki Bar at the Public Market.
Living the high life, drinking Miller High Life, the
Finest
champagne
high
of beers
life.
since 1903. We live the high life with Adam Pawlak. Thank you for coming in, my brother.
Yes, of course.
We'll
Thanks
see
for
you
having
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, and then
Forward to
Wednesday
it.
next week.
Can't wait. It's going to be awesome. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Keep it right here. Drew and KB statewide on the Game.